I mentioned in the beginning of the service that today is Shabbat Shekalim. This Shabbat takes place on the Shabbat before the 1st of Adar, so tomorrow in the service we will announce the beginning of the month of Adar, which will be on Wednesday, and it is one of the 4 special Shabbatot surrounding Purim and Passover. So yes, it's very close. Traditionally, every adult Jew was requested to contribute a half of a biblical shekel for the upkeep of the Tabernacle. In later times, as we can understand from our Haftarah reading tomorrow, the donation was used for the maintenance of the ancient temple. And today, we can understand it as a contribution to the infrastructure of a community. The maintenance of a synagogue building, for example. As the Israelites contributed to the building of the Mishkan, the Tabernacle, so we are still asked to support community today. However, we shouldn't make the mistake to understand it only as a donation of money. I know our treasurer doesn't like to hear that, but I hope you will forgive me in a moment. This is, of course, one way of support, but silver and gold are only placeholder symbols for other things we can give. And this year, it is important for me to ask you to give your voice in support of an important cause that is dear to my heart and important to so many, if not all, progressive and reform Jews worldwide. It is, you guessed it, about Israel and Israel's democratic future. We had an important talk on the topic last Wednesday, and those who stayed until the end got a feeling how that I got quite passionate about the topic, and I had the feeling that many of you also had the same feeling this evening after the talk. It is not usual for a rabbi to preach politics, and those who know me know also very well that I want that our synagogue is a place where all Jews find a spiritual home, regardless their political view on Israel or the world. And this position has not changed and hopefully will never. However, there's always something. Israel is deeply connected and interwoven with our Jewish identity. The connection to the land is part of our holy covenant with God. The hope and the goal in the center of the Exodus narrative of the Torah is the promised land. And of course, the tikvah, the hope that kept Jews of the diaspora for nearly 2,000 years going despite the many obstacles that surrounded them, is also Israel. So because Israel is part of our Jewish DNA, we must care. And we do care. I agree, this is not always easy and sometimes even painful. But as the good old saying goes, it is not easy to be a Yid. I don't want to repeat what I said on Wednesday evening. However, again, I want to ask you one more time to take the democratic and Jewish character of Israel not for granted. Israel's democratic values are challenged at the moment. On the first side, only relevant for Israelis, but in the long term, I'm sure they will have a dramatic impact also on us Jews living outside of Israel. The initiative to disempower the High Court will, in the long run, change the definition who will be accepted as a Jew in our Jewish state and outside. It will change who will have access to public fundings and support in Israel and outside of Israel, who can marry whom, and if people who live outside of the ultra-Orthodox definition of family and or norm, will they have the same rights as those within, when we with the fear that the boundaries will become narrower and narrower. The proposed laws will create, and that is my deepest fear, a deep split between brothers and sisters, namely progressive and Orthodox Jews. The creation of a loophole in the legislative process might be unproblematic in the beginning. This government might even never use it. But the Jewish principle of building a fence around something that could propose a danger is there for a good reason. In Deuteronomy 22:8, it says, "If you build a new house, you are to construct a railing around your roof so that you do not bring blood guilt on your house if someone falls from it." And as much as a fence around the rooftop protects lives, so does the opposition to the proposed change for the democratic process in Israel. I am convinced that the proposal does not strengthen democracy, it will weaken it. And yes, other countries, including ours, have loopholes and other flaws in their democratic systems. And yes, Israel's democratic system is far from being perfect. But both are not reasons to look aside or to justify what has been suggested right now. Our Torah teaches us in Parashat Ki Titzeh, "Lo tuchal litalem," you shall not remain indifferent. And this is also important when it comes to Israel. If you feel that the proposed changes are good for Israel, please also make your voice heard. Please let us hear and understand your thoughts. And if you feel that the suggested changes will endanger what you envision for Israel, then please don't shy away. Please make usage of your voice, because Israel is a Jewish state. It is our Jewish state. And we don't have to stand on the sideline when it comes to Israel, only because we live in the UK. What is Jewish is defined by all Jews, and the Jewish character of Israel depends on our definition too. Your half shekel this year is indeed your voice. So please help to maintain Israel's democratic and Jewish foundation by speaking out and building a meaningful relationship with Israel. For me, this is not politics. For me, this is just being Jewish. Shabbat Shalom.